All right, so you want to learn about leather.
Leather.
Yeah, you're interested in the different types, how it's made, especially this whole leather splitting thing, right?
Wow.
We've got this great article from Steel Horse Leather, breaks it all down, ready to dive in.
Absolutely, yeah. It's amazing, isn't it, how the structure of the hide,
Mm-hmm.
like, determines everything, like what kind of leather you end up with.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So they start off talking about the layers of the hide, like a cake,
Yep.
flesh, the corium, the grain. Break that down for us.
Yeah, so imagine you have a piece of leather, or a hide, right?
Okay.
The flesh is that bottom layer, closest
Right.
to the muscles. The corium is the middle, and it's like the thickest, the strongest part.
Yeah.
And then at the top, you've got the grain. So that's the part that we see, that we touch. And it's that like tight fiber structure of the grain that makes leather so durable.
Okay, so that's why everyone's always talking about full grain leather, right?
Yes.
Full grain is the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Full grain is like, it's the best.
Yeah.
It's made using the entire thickness of the grain. Keeps all the natural characteristics, all those little imperfections that make each hide unique.
So you're saying like all those imperfections are good?
Well, they make it unique, right? Think about it. It's the strongest part of the hide.
Oh.
It's going to age beautifully.
That's where patina comes in.
Yes.
I never really understood that.
So patina is that like gorgeous color.
Uh-huh.
It develops on the leather as it ages.
Okay.
Like this natural wear pattern.
Right.
That makes the leather more beautiful, more unique over time. But here's the thing.
Okay.
Patina only develops on full grain leather.
Because?
Because it's got that untouched top layer of the grain, right?
Mhm.
It's like a fingerprint.
Wow.
It tells the story of that hide and how it's been used.
So cool. The article mentions that full grain is only a small percentage of all the leather produced.
Right.
Why is that?
Well, think about it. Every hide has its own marks. Scratches, wrinkles, you know.
All part of life.
It's part of life, yeah.
Yeah.
With full grain leather, all those imperfections are left, like, intact. So you can only use the best parts of the hide to make it.
Oh, so a lot of hides get rejected.
Yeah. Only like 10 to 15% of all hides are good enough to be full grain leather. The rest are still used.
Oh, okay.
They go through a process called splitting to create other types of leather.
So splitting, what exactly is happening there?
So imagine you take that hide and run it through a machine that slices off the top layer of the grain.
Okay.
It's kind of like peeling an orange, but with incredible precision.
I see.
So you're left with two pieces, the top grain and the split.
Okay, so top grain, is that what makes top grain leather?
Precisely. So by removing that very top layer, you get rid of some of the imperfections. Smoother, more uniform surface.
But still real leather?
It's still genuine leather, but it's not as durable as full grain
I see.
because you've lost some of that tough outer layer.
And probably not as good patina, right?
You're right.
Okay.
The sanding process changes the way it ages. It might still develop some character, but it doesn't have that same richness, you know, the depth that you get with full grain.
Makes sense. So what about that split? What do they do with that?
Well, that split layer, which is basically the corium with the grain removed, is still usable.
Okay.
It's a completely different feel.
But not as strong, I'm guessing.
You got it.
Okay.
The split is looser, so it's softer, more
Mhm.
flexible. So it's often used to make suede.
Oh, so like when I buy those genuine leather shoes.
It could be split leather.
Really?
Yeah. And that's where the words get tricky. Genuine leather is technically correct,
Yay.
but it doesn't say what grade it is.
Oh, so you really need to know.
You got to know the difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Full grain, top grain, split leather. Got to make sure you're getting what you pay for.
This is great. I already feel like way more informed than I was 5 minutes ago.
Good.
So if split leather is used for suede, what else do they use it for? And what about that machine, like that splitting machine? How does that thing even work? So it's used for suede. What else?
Besides suede, split leather is often used for things where durability isn't like the main thing, like
Yeah.
book covers, linings for bags and jackets,
Okay.
even some furniture.
Interesting. So it sounds like it has its place, but they were saying that it can be embossed to look like full grain leather.
Right.
Isn't that kind of like deceptive?
Yeah, it can be,
Mm.
especially if it's not labeled clearly. Some manufacturers emboss a grain pattern onto split leather to make it, you know, look like the real thing,
Oh, wow.
but it won't have that durability and it won't age the same way.
So how can people protect themselves from that? Like, how can you tell?
One thing to look for is the feel.
Okay.
Full grain leather
Mm.
has a natural texture. It's not like perfectly smooth.
Right.
Split leather can feel a little plasticky,
Yeah.
slippery sometimes because of the embossing.
Makes sense. Like trying to pass off a sheet cake as a layer cake, you know?
Exactly. Another thing to look at is the edges.
Oh, okay.
With full grain, you can see the layers, like looking at the rings of a tree.
Yep.
Split leather is going to have a flat edge.
Oh, so it's like those fake wood furniture pieces that are made of like layers glued together.
Yeah, perfect analogy. That's why it's important to know this stuff. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Right.
When you're buying leather.
Yeah.
What type it is, how it was processed, was it embossed?
Okay, good advice. Can we go back to that splitting machine for a sec?
Yeah, sure.
I want to kind of get a picture of how this thing works.
Oh, imagine this massive hide, sometimes like several feet long,
Wow.
being fed into this machine. It's like a giant meat slicer
Okay.
designed for leather.
Yeah.
And it's got these razor sharp blades
Uh-huh.
that are adjusted to different thicknesses. It depends on what they're trying to make.
Is it like messy? Are there leather bits flying everywhere?
Not really.
Yeah.
It's pretty precise, actually. It splits the hide cleanly, minimizes waste.
Okay.
The operator needs a really steady hand to make sure the cut is even.
It sounds like a mix of like brute force and finesse all at the same time.
It is, yeah.
Now, the article mentioned different types of these machines.
Right.
Can you tell us about those?
So you've got your industrial scale machines for the big canneries,
Okay.
huge pieces of equipment. Then you have smaller ones
Right.
for workshops or artisans, and even handheld tools for small jobs.
So it's like having a chainsaw, a table saw, and a handsaw.
Exactly.
Okay.
No matter what you use, though, the goal is always the same.
Yeah.
You're creating those different layers of leather.
But they were talking about the benefits of splitting beyond just getting those different layers, like the full grain and the top grain and all that.
Right.
So maximizing the use of the hide.
Right. So one of the key benefits is accuracy.
Okay.
The splitting machine lets them make super precise thicknesses.
Oh.
This is really important for things like upholstery.
Right. You don't want a lumpy couch.
Exactly. And then they can use smaller pieces for wallets, keychains,
Oh, cool.
even jewelry. So it's kind of a zero waste approach.
Awesome.
Yeah. And splitting allows for other treatments. Like they can get rid of the fuzzy flesh side of the split,
Sure.
make it smooth, good for bonding or whatever.
So it's like they're refining the material.
Exactly. It could even help fix inconsistencies from the tanning process. So if the hide has variations in thickness, they can even it out.
So it sounds like this process lets them use every little piece.
It does, yeah. And it's really cool when you think about it. Consumers, can appreciate the craftsmanship that goes into leather.
It's all about making informed choices, right? Knowing why something is priced the way it is.
Absolutely. Speaking of choices, maybe we should talk about how all this applies to your next leather purchase.
Okay, so I'm walking into a store. I want to buy a leather jacket. What should I be looking for?
First, think about what you're using it for. Do you need it to be super durable? Like, is it a workwear jacket?
Or is it more like just a style thing?
Yeah, that's the question. If you want that, like, rugged, long-lasting jacket, full grain is the way to go. Yeah, it costs more, but it'll last forever. And it just gets better with age,
But what if I just want something that like looks good, feels nice, not for like hard work or anything?
Totally. So if you want softness,
Yeah.
affordability,
Mm-hmm.
then top grain or even split leather would be good. They might not get that same patina,
Right.
but they'll still look good.
This has like really changed how I think about leather. I used to just go to the store and grab whatever.
Right.
Now I'm going to be like inspecting the labels,
Leather.
checking the edges, feeling it.
That's what we want. We
Yeah.
want to give you the knowledge so you can make good decisions,
So full grain, that's if you want the best, right?
The best, yeah.
Yeah.
The workhorse, tough,
Mhm.
resilient.
But if you want soft, affordable.
Yeah, maybe you won't use it as much.
Yeah.
Then top grain or split would be perfect.
And split leather's not like bad.
No, not bad.
It's just different.
Different, yeah. Good for different things.
And you just got to watch out for those tricky labels.
Exactly. Pay attention. Ask questions. Don't buy it if it doesn't feel right,
This has been so helpful. Like I get it now.
Good, I'm glad. It's all about understanding the process, right?
Yeah.
But then you can appreciate the craftsmanship, the value of leather goods.
I feel like I can actually go out and buy a leather jacket now.
There you go.
That's our deep dive into the world of leather.
Leather.
We hope you learned something new today.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. Keep exploring
Keep questioning.
and keep diving deep.